So, day 53 of me recording my journey from zero to $30,000 a month. There's a paragraph that caught my eyes in this book, Good Strategy, Bad Strategy. And most of my focus going to be just from one single phrase that I caught from this from this paragraph. Uh, so so the paragraph is premeditation. Kanai was not an improvisation. It was designed and planned in advance. Hannibal executed such chore- uh, choreographed strategy not just once but many times in his years of war with Rome. There are furious debate over the best balance in a strategy between prior guidance and on-the-spot adaptation and improvisation, but there is always some form of prior guidance. By definition, winging it is not a strategy. So the last sentence, by definition, winging it is not a strategy because that's kind of what I've been doing, which is winging it, kind of like trying to improvise everything, trying to come up with stuff while trying to build, my agency. I think it's good probably to get me started, but it was good probably to get me started to get the wheel going. But I think it's probably time for me to come up with some type of right structure and system in place, and you can call it to strategy. So this chapter is a chapter about using design, and it kind of talk about Hannibal, which is like I think he's like one of the greatest general of all time. One of the greatest general, I think it's Alexander, Napoleon, Hannibal. Hannibal is one of them, and so the author was trying to the father strategy. I think he kind of like put. I think they kind of try to trace strategy to Hannibal. I think he's probably one of the first person who started using strategy because he kind of like humiliated the Roman forces because he was so good at strategy, and then Rome learned from him, and then in turn so Roman society was hardened and militarized by this prolonged struggle, and Rome went on conquer and dominate the known world for 500 years. In turn, the rest of the Western world learned strategy from Rome. So Hannibal was the one who started this whole like you can say strategy thing. And it wasn't so at the end after because business is the closest cousin to war. So there's so much. So everything in this book is like war story and business story. And at the end of this whole Hannibal, it kind of like explain the whole Hannibal strategy to beat Rome and stuff. And then the last chapter, the last paragraph of this story, he explained they probably improvise. There are fierce debate over the best balance in a strategy between prior guidance and on-the-spot adaptation, which is what I've been doing a lot, on-the-spot adaptation, trying to adapt on the spot, and improvisation. But there is always some type of prior guidance, which is key. By definition, wigging it is not a strategy, which is what I've been doing from the beginning. So yeah, so I think so so because you can say to a certain extent I've been on the field, and the field is pretty rough, especially if you're not prepared. And And right now, the field, if you don't know what the field is sales call, cold call. That's what the field is. And I've been doing quite a lot of that at the start of the journey. And I didn't have a proper strategy in place. I just wanted to start and see like what it would feel like to be on the field. And I've been on the field, and I think it's kind of like step. I think it's time for me to properly kind of like withdraw a little bit and come up with better system, structure, and strategy in place for proper conquest. All this saying all this kind of like sounds coward, like a cowardly kind of sound like I'm like a coward who's like scared of the field. But if you don't have a proper strategy in place, I don't know how much I gotta tell myself that it's okay to not be doing cold call and outreach and sales call. But if the confidence is not there, I don't think there's much I can kind of like uh, kind of keep convincing myself. So that's why I'm kind of like retreating back into books so that I can forge and come up with some type of war plan in my mind so that when I get back in the field, I can be more like, I don't know, forge, you can call it. So I can be more prepared and more, yeah. So, so that's kind of what I've been doing because last time I did the cold call was like day 30 something. Yeah, I think it was day 37. And I started talking to the lady and then she kind of like hang up on me. And I think that was kind of like my last, I don't know, last straw. Since then, I've kind of been retreating and then trying to come up with something, some type of plan. I'm so confident. I have so much confidence that where I feel like the suffering because when you call, there's obvious suffer because people are gonna hang up on you. They're gonna tell you fuck off. Just you know, it's obvious suffering. But when there's a strong why attached to it, the suffering you have a better reason to take the suffering. So that's kind of why I've been retreating a little bit before I get back in the on the field. And I'm still, you can say, in my cocoon, trying to patch up things together before I can really get back.